Hello and welcome back to Crypto Saving Experts, where we talk about the latest cryptocurrency news and take a look at the markets so that we all know exactly what is happening. My name is Jess and we do these live streams every single weekday. So if you do enjoy these live streams, please don't forget to slap a like and subscribe and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss these incredible daily morning news shows. Let's take a look at the price of Bitcoin and Ethereum right now and see what is going on in the market. So we have here, first of all, let's refresh the page to see where we are sat. Right now, we have Bitcoin currently at $30,212. We have Ethereum just below the $2,000 level at $1,989. Now, Ethereum has seen a 6% rally in the last 24 hours, following a lot of fears around the Shanghai upgrade. We will talk about that later in today's video. We also have Bitcoin up quite a little bit. We'll talk about that. We have some Bitcoin analysis towards the end of today's stream, so we'll keep some under wraps, but we did see some nice positive news during yesterday's live stream. I was very, very excited to be live yesterday when we had that the inflation data in the US had dropped from 6% year on year to 5% year on year. Some positive things coming from the US in the economy now after seeing hiking interest rates over and over again. It's positive to see that those interest rates have actually done what they needed to do, and hopefully this will continue and we'll start to see inflation continue to move to the downside. We'll not start to see, we'll hopefully continue to see it move to the downside. Jason Smith said, it's a sea of green. It definitely is. Look at this 24-hour change on Crypto Saving Experts website. The top 20 cryptocurrencies are all green right now. So it's very, very nice to see. Let's take a look how far this goes into the market. What we do want to do actually today is we are going to talk about the start of altcoin season. We have a lot of news to discuss today. We're going to take a look at FTX potentially restarting. In fact, let's get straight into it now. Let's stop waffling on and let's talk about what's going on in the news instead. So let's pull this up, check everything is running perfectly. Here we go. First, we need to talk about Ren. So Alameda's Ren Protocol is ordered to transfer assets to FTX debtors. Now, this is something that Ren predicted quite a few months ago. So we can discuss what Ren is. It's a protocol which provides interoperability by allowing users to create and transfer peg tokens across blockchains, including Ren BTC, which has a $120 million market cap. And Alameda acquired the protocol in February 22 on plans to expedite the decentralization of its technologies. So this is a protocol which has been acquired by Alameda Research prior to them filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. So now what happens to Ren? So we can see here, this is Ren 1.0. They also have Ren 2.0, which is a community-led version of the network. But we can see from this tweet that's been put in on the article that Ren Protocol team said just 3 months ago, burn all of your Ren assets. I repeat, burn all of your Ren assets. Ren 1.0 will be shut down and FTX might claim what is left. So what they're saying is you need to move your assets onto the new blockchain, and they don't know if the Ren 1 will be compatible with Ren 2. So that is what they were suspecting is going to happen, and that is exactly what is going to happen. And this meme's quite funny that they warned all of these people. People did nothing. Then FTX did exactly what was predicted, and everyone's now shocked about the situation. But that is what we are seeing here. So FTX have managed to get those assets back. We can see at the start of this article, let's get this right, Ren Protocol informed its community on Wednesday that it has been authorized and directed to transfer all of its cryptocurrency assets to cold wallets controlled by FTX debtors in advance of possible shutdowns of infrastructure and systems. So that is what's going on with the Ren Protocol. We were warned, to be fair, but let's take a look at why FTX could be having another go at being a cryptocurrency exchange. Now, we've actually spoke about this a lot on the channel. When things were going bad with FTX, we had that Martini guy on this show, and he said FTX will start up again. They will relaunch as a cryptocurrency exchange. At the time, everybody was going mental in the chat, saying this is impossible. We're not going to be using this. And he was right. He was right. Let's take a look at this. So FTX recovers $7.3 billion in assets and plans to restart exchange next year. FTX's debtors are looking to reboot the failed exchange after recovering more than $7 billion in liquid assets. So very interesting debate to be had here. We have had this conversation a couple of times on these live streams. Let's talk about this. So the scenario is that If FTX were to relaunch, they now have new managers. All of the bad actors have been removed from the company. They just have the infrastructure of a cryptocurrency exchange. So the options are, they have the money, they have the infrastructure, they make it a great cryptocurrency exchange, or they have the money, they have the infrastructure, and they just give up on the idea. Now the bad actors have moved out of the space. They just have a perfectly functioning cryptocurrency exchange. It was the bad actors that were ordering money to be used in ways that it shouldn't. The new CEO, I believe, has just come into this company. He's not going to want to sabotage his reputation. He's going to come in and want to make sure everything's done properly. He knows we're going to get audited they're going to get scrutinized a lot. We've already seen regulators crack down on cryptocurrency exchanges following the FTX collapse. So regulators will make sure that something like this, well, they'll do their best to make sure that something like this doesn't happen again. So why waste that infrastructure that's already been built and all that money that's already been there waiting to be used? We could have a pretty good centralized exchange here. Now, I know a lot of people fear against this and won't want to use FTX because of what's happened in the past, and that is absolutely fair enough. I would be jumping at the idea. But it may, if it has a rebrand or something and it gets new people into the space, it may be something that could attract newcomers into cryptocurrency. So it's an interesting debate to be had. Let me know in the chat if you would use FTX, because I do understand the benefits of restarting it, and if they can just claim back an audience, even if it is newcomers into crypto and they just rebrand themselves, SBF isn't in it anymore, and all of those bad actors are no longer in the company, we hope. The other thing we have to mention is we have to trust a centralized exchange to use it. With every centralized exchange, we're placing a level of trust into that company, and we would have to do that again with FTX, and that is why people would probably veer away from this. But I don't feel like this is the end. I think that they could restart and they could make a pretty steady income from a centralized exchange once again. Lee said, if it was just one person corrupt at the top, I'd consider using it, but the whole exchange seemed to be crooked. Even if it's audited up the wazoo, I'd pass. That is a good point. We have seen many different problems within the company. However, I don't see, if FTX 2.0 happened, I would be incredibly shocked. Regulators are going after centralized exchanges. We hope that the bad actors will come out of the space, but as you are saying, and as I've just said, with every centralized exchange, we have to trust them to a certain extent. And that is the problem with centralized exchanges, as why we have our own personal wallets. But when we use a centralized exchange, we have to trust them to look after our funds correctly. So we would be placing that trust back into FTX once again if we were to use them again. And we'd have to trust that they're not using our funds in a way that they shouldn't. As always, not your keys, not your crypto. And you do have to have a level of trust into them, which could be a problem, which is why I said they probably will do a rebrand of some sorts and will probably be aiming themselves at people that are new into the cryptocurrency space, that don't understand that this is the same company that they saw all over the mainstream media 6 months ago. They're probably already forgotten at this point. I mean, when I was talking to people about crypto during between like 3 and 6 months ago, the only thing people were saying was, oh, hasn't that big company gone bankrupt? And I was like, yeah, but we're moving on from this. We're learning from this and we're continuing to grow. That's not the end of crypto. And everybody outside of crypto thought that was the end of crypto. But it's not. And they could, in a sense, we can see here, they've hinted pretty strongly here that they are likely to restart the exchange. And we've already seen as well that the new CEO said just a couple of months ago that he's not ruled out the idea at all. So this has been something that we could see coming for quite a while now. And I do expect this to actually happen. Player one is saying that Martini guy was right. Exactly, he was. We did mention that at the start of today's stream when everybody else was saying no. He was saying yes. JB said won't be using FTX. And I understand that. I mean, I wouldn't be jumping at the idea either. But if it seems to continue over the next couple of years and adoption takes place and they rebrand and they continue to perform well, they get audited and they're all okay, and they offer a cryptocurrency that I can't get access to, I might take advantage of that opportunity. I would never say never about the FTX situation, but we will see. So JB said never did they, thank God. No, I didn't really. I mean, I had an account, I made a couple of trades, but I wasn't a big user of FTX. But let's move on to the next article here, and let's talk about the altcoin season. Now, this is a big article here. Very, very interesting information provided by the team at Crypto Saving Expert. So if you are interested in having reliable cryptocurrency news, make sure to go to cryptosavingexpert.com and press that big blue button, create an account, and you have access to all of this amazing information completely for free. Also, If you haven't already, make sure to go to Twitter at CryptoSavingExp, at TikTok CryptoSavingExpert, and Instagram CryptoSavingExpert. I've just been started posting TikToks and Reels, thanks to the amazing editing team at CryptoSavingExpert. They look very, very good. So make sure to go over to our accounts on all social media platforms and give us a follow so you can stay up to date with what's going on in the world of crypto. We spend all of our hours working on crypto so that you don't have to, and you get the information exactly when you need it, and you don't need to sift through all the waffle in between. That's our jobs. So let's take a look at this article anyway. We have, is crypto primed for an altcoin season? So what we're seeing at the moment is we're seeing the altcoins bleed into Bitcoin right now. We can take a look at this. Recently, Bitcoin has been absorbing the majority of the liquidity in the crypto markets. As shown below, the altcoin season index tells us we are very much within a Bitcoin season. The indicator works by measuring how the top 50 coins, excluding stable coins, are performing relative to Bitcoin. And we can see here that when we look at this chart, it's down at 14. Now, usually this is a signal here that we could start to see some movements into the altcoins. So the liquidity Bitcoin has been absorbing may have been necessary to push Bitcoin's price above the brilliant $30,000 level, which we have managed to capture and hold pretty nicely as well. And this push above the level will increase confidence in the markets, so new investors may be looking to enter the space and accumulate some of these altcoins. JB says, not happy with what I have, need more time to accumulate, need more funds. This is what happens in the world of crypto. You've got to be quick and get on the opportunities when you can, accumulate when everybody else is hating the idea, and take profits when everybody else is buying the top. That is the world of crypto. It's entirely difficult. I mean, it's so hard. You can never feel like you've got enough, especially when the market's moving to the upside. You can always wish you bought more, but that is the world we live in. Let's take a look at this. Another factor that could drive a potential altcoin season is the completion of Ethereum's Shanghai upgrade. Some saw this event as a possible sell-off event, and the theory being that staked Ethereum can now be withdrawn. Stakers will take the opportunity to withdraw and sell their Ethereum on the market. But we haven't really seen so much of this. In fact, the price of Ethereum is up very nicely. As we said at the start of today's stream, Ethereum is up a total of 6.22% in the last 24 hours in comparison to Bitcoin's 0.62% increase. Ethereum's seen a really nice rise in the last 24 hours, and that comes off the back of there being so much fear around the asset for yesterday when the Shanghai upgrade occurred, and when that dump didn't take place, a lot of people entered their long positions pretty quickly. So we can see here, it's possible that investors could use their newly withdrawable Ethereum to get converted to other altcoins, aiming it to achieve higher gains, which could add fuel to the potential alt season. And we could also take a look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, and we can see that Bitcoin has strongly been performing, and its dominance, however, is now reaching a level just below the 50% mark, which has previously been a significant point of reversal. As you can see, Bitcoin dominance for the past couple of years has traded in this range, where typically the value will bounce from the low 40% and then rally slightly below 50% and repeat. If history repeats itself, we could see a rejection of this level, leading to dominance falling and altcoin liquidity increasing. However, if dominance rises above this level, it could be a bearish sign for altcoins. So this is something we need to keep an eye on. And all of these indicators within this article are very, very useful to look at the bigger scale of things and see what assets we should be investing into. I always say it's very, very important not only to look at the value of an altcoin and how it's performing, but measure it against Bitcoin. If you're looking to invest in Polkadot, look at the .BTC chart. If you're looking to invest in BNB, look at the BNB BTC chart. Compare the price between Bitcoin and see if it's worth it. Because with Bitcoin, it's always said, I mean, the top 10 altcoins, it's very easy to look at those and be confident that they will be here in the long term. But the least risky asset in cryptocurrency, in my opinion, is Bitcoin. So when we're looking at altcoins, we're taking on additional risk. And if they're not even going to outperform Bitcoin, that risk isn't worth the reward. So we want to look at that risk reward ratio. And if an altcoin looks like it's going to outperform Bitcoin and it's a little bit more risk, that might be something we want to take on. However, if it looks like it's not going to perform as well as Bitcoin, we're taking on additional risk with no extra rewards there. So that's just a really important key tip to look at. Also, take a look at this article on Crypto Saving Expert and look at the different indicators they've been using in the analyst team to determine whether we are going to see a boost of the altcoins in the next couple of weeks. It's a very interesting article, very much worth the read, and you can take skills from and continue to research in the future as well. So let's move on to the next article now, see what's going on in the latest cryptocurrency news. If you don't mind giving us a like and a subscribe and a bell notification button, we would greatly appreciate it. We are on a mission to get to what are we on so far? We're on 2,823 subscribers here on the channel, and we're on a mission to get to 2,850 by the end of the week. Now, it is Thursday, but I think we can do it. We are currently on. Let's see how many likes we've got on today's stream. We've got 14 likes on today's stream. If you wouldn't mind slapping a like if you haven't already. We have a lot more news to discuss, and then we're going to take a look at the Bitcoin chart, do a little bit of Bitcoin analysis, and see what we've got in store. We've got some CME gaps to look at. We've got another CME gap opening again tomorrow. So we're going to expect some volatility, but hopefully it's good volatility. Let's finish off the cryptocurrency news, and then we'll take a look at this. So Shanghai data exchange to airdrop NFT collection despite crypto ban in China. So the government-backed Shanghai data exchange is organizing an airdrop of 1,000 Ethereum-based NFTs over the next few days, and the collection is being minted to celebrate 20 years of international innovation and technology exhibitions organized through collaborations between Hong Kong and Shanghai. Very interesting article here. So we know that there's a crypto ban in China, but we're seeing that a government-backed exchange is organizing an airdrop of NFTs. So what does this mean? If we take a look at Twitter, if we pull up Twitter here and we take a look at what CZ said just a couple of days ago, he has mentioned that this may be a sort of trial run for Hong Kong, maybe some sort of trial run for China. So he's put Hong Kong banks start to support crypto. We will see more funds moving there. USDT alone is $80 billion market cap, more stable coins to come. It was Miles that said that we may see, let's get this right, here on the channel, we are listening to all of these different opinions and concluding our own opinions, but we are seeing here that it's possible that Hong Kong could be perceived by China as a trial run to monitor crypto policy. So what we're seeing at the moment is many banks in Hong Kong being very cryptocurrency friendly. We're seeing Hong Kong want to be a cryptocurrency hotspot and actually making moves towards becoming such a thing. And what we are seeing here now is China kind of opening their eyes a little bit. They're looking at Hong Kong and they're celebrating the collaborations between Hong Kong and Shanghai within Web3. So it looks potentially like we could see the ban on crypto start to get a little, maybe they'll remove this ban within the next couple of months. It looks like China are open to the idea of change here, according to this article. And we are also seeing here that Hong Kong have been very pro-crypto in the last couple of months, something that I don't think is going to stop. We've seen many different cryptocurrency exchanges move out of jurisdictions like Canada that are just not friendly for cryptocurrency companies right now due to their regulations, and move into Hong Kong, where we're seeing these regulations loosen. We're seeing the banks within Hong Kong wanting to work with cryptocurrency companies as well. So it's been very interesting to see this shift for the cryptocurrency industry, and I expect to see this continue, and this may be the first step for China maybe lightening these restrictions and becoming more of a cryptocurrency friendly place. But we'll keep an eye on that. Let's take a look at this. Lee said TMG did say the next bull run will come from the east. If he's right about that as well, he'll be unbearable. Let's take a look at the next article here. He's been right about FTX. He could be right about this. It looks like he's going to be right about this. So make sure, if you haven't already, to like, subscribe, press the bell notification button on Crypto Saving Expert here and on Jordan's channel as well. That Martini guy and TMG trades as well. Let's take a look at this. We have SushiSwap to reimburse affected users following the $3.3 million hack. So the victims of the white hat operations to receive compensation first. So the popular decentralized exchange has disclosed it plans to reimburse users 3 days after losing $3.3 million via a contract bug exploit. Now, we did cover this bug here on the channel when it took place, and we have seen that the DEX has asked the Black Hat victims to submit emails detailing the lost funds transaction IDs and blockchain data. So what actually happened here is a Black Hat exploiter took advantage of a bug within the SushiSwap code, and then a white hat hacker managed to get these funds back, I believe. So the stolen funds were from the wallet of a popular member on the decentralized exchange and crypto Twitter. And after SushiSwap discovered the hack, its white hat security teams secured the remaining funds that were vulnerable to the bug. The DEX also instructed users to revoke the approval given to Router Processor 2 to mitigate the losses. Eventually, the Ethereum-based exchange removed the affected contract and urged users to resume trading and swapping. So they recovered some funds with the help of several security teams, and the protocol's head developer, Jared Gray, revealed via Twitter that more than 300 ETH were rescued from Coffee Babe of Sifu's stolen funds, and that the team was working towards recovering another 700 ETH from Lido's team as well. Black Hat, it's very confusing terminology, Jerome. Let's take a look at the next article here. It's great to see people are getting their funds back. Things are moving in the correct direction. We have here, let's take a look at how the stream is going. Please don't forget, if you haven't already, to like and subscribe and press the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. I feel like I should sit up straight. We've got some important news coming our way. We have Argentinian regulator approves first local Bitcoin futures index. So this is a really, really positive thing to see here. And this is what we've been fighting for in the cryptocurrency industry for a while. The approval of the Bitcoin futures index aligns with the regulator's strategic innovation agenda to encourage the development of financial products. So the Argentinian National Commission of Value has approved the launch of a Bitcoin futures index on the Matba Rofex exchange in May this year. So the CMV said the approval is part of its new strategic innovation agenda that the Innovation Hub established, which it launched last year. So they're focused on creating an environment for promoting public-private collaboration between regulated companies and technology firms with financial projects or products in the capital market. And we can see here the securities regulator has said the measure adopted through a resolution intends to adapt the regulatory challenges imposed by new technologies for the provision of financial products, as well as promoting the development of new and innovative products by its regulated subjects in the capital market. So the index will track Bitcoin's price through data from local entities offering BTC ARS trading pairs. Essentially, this is going to mean that traditional investors can get exposure to Bitcoin without having to actually understand how to buy the asset, how to store it safely. They can just invest into it like they do any other traditional asset. So this just brings in a new wave of investors. It means we can see more adoption. Maybe after these investors have invested into the index, they can take a look at that and think, I actually want to get some Bitcoin that I can store privately and have complete control of. So then eventually it may push them into the space completely rather than just holding something that tracks the price of Bitcoin essentially. So they are also, on the other hand, still warning investors about the risks of Bitcoin like they have to. And this is something that we all see over and over again. Bitcoin is a volatile asset. It's a risky asset, but it has great rewards, and they're helping us gain adoption of the asset in this way. So let's continue now. With the next article, we have gaming tech giant Razer introduces a Web3 venture fund. Now, this is really good news because we have seen recently they actually, it might be in this stream. Let's check what we've got here. We've seen global VC funding for crypto startups declines by 80%. So we are seeing venture capital funding decline massively. We will come back to this article. However, we are seeing positivity because we have here that we have a new venture fund for Web3. So let's take a look at this. According to the press statement, they've enabled games have needed more enticing and connecting with the core gaming population. While adopting blockchain capabilities properly is a challenging task that necessitates a thorough understanding of player behavior and individual motives in a game, it can potentially improve the gaming experience. So let's take a look at this. They are looking for different games. Now, we can move on from this article. Not too much to add from this one. A positive thing here, but what we are seeing overall is the amount of venture capital declining massively for cryptocurrency startups. So it's declined by 80%. So let's take a look at this article quickly. It plunged 80% in the first quarter of this year to levels last seen in 2020, according to data from research firm PitchBook. So we will keep an eye on this and see how this plays out. We can imagine, though, when the cryptocurrency markets are down, people aren't looking at investing. We see this over and over again. People like to invest when we're at the top. We see this, and this is just what happens. We accept it. Let's move on to the next one. Bitfinex becomes the first crypto exchange to receive a digital assets license from El Salvador. So they've granted Bitfinex the country's first ever digital assets license after the government passed legislation in January that provides a regulatory framework for digital assets and the issuance of its volcano bond. So let's take a look at this article. Crypto exchange Bitfinex announced on Tuesday it had been granted El Salvador's first ever digital assets license. The exchange hailed the new license as a historic victory for financial freedom in Latin America and beyond. So the license was issued to the crypto exchange subsidiary Bitfinex Securities El Salvador, a fully regulated digital asset exchange with the ability to issue and trade real-world tokenized assets such as equities and bonds. So we can see here it means that a whole range of entities from small companies to governments can raise capital in a regulated environment and tap into a class of investors that are extremely comfortable with crypto assets and tokenized securities, which represents a market of over $1 trillion with a peak of $3 trillion. So El Salvador is set to become a hub for crypto and technology innovation. We all saw this coming. El Salvador is where Bitcoin is a legal tender, and they are pro-Bitcoin there. So it's important to see these big moves coming. It's nice that they've taken these steps slowly and they haven't jumped in all at once. I mean, they jumped in massively when they made Bitcoin's illegal tender, but it's nice to see these moves slowly over a long period of time. Let's take a look now at this next piece of news. Before we do, please don't forget to like and subscribe and press the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. We do these live streams every single weekday, talking about what's going on in the market, doing a little bit of Bitcoin analysis at the end of today's stream as well. We are currently on 2,823 subscribers, on a mission to get to 2,850 by the end of the week. Maybe it'll be by the end of next week, but we'll keep an eye on it. We are currently on 20 likes for today's stream, so please continue to hit the like button. Let's set a goal of 25 before we finish today's stream. We can see here the SEC is hiring attorneys and compliance examiners for its crypto enforcement unit, so we could see this coming for a while. So part of its enforcement division, they are looking to hire different general attorneys and compliance examiners for the crypto assets and cyber unit, and the available roles are in major cities such as New York, San Francisco, LA and DC. So they're looking to hire attorneys for the role of general attorney. The SEC is taking applications to fill positions in New York, San Francisco and Washington DC, and prospective candidates must be US citizens with a law degree. I mean, we've basically put an ad up for them on the Crypto Saving Expert website. Let's take a look at this. Applicants must also have experience in analysing, interpreting and or advising on industry trends and tools related to distributed ledger technology, blockchain technology and smart contracts. So what we are seeing here is the availability of the roles mentioned above at the SEC indicates that the regulator under Chairman Gensler is determined to continue regulating the crypto industry by enforcement. The strict actions of the SEC against crypto can be traced back to the collapse of FTX in early November and the resulting calls for more stringent regulation. So what we're seeing here, as I was saying earlier, is FTX has caused regulators to become so much stricter on the cryptocurrency industry, and that is one of the reasons as to why I think FTX relaunching won't be a complete flop like we are all imagining. I actually think it could be okay. But let's move on to the next article here to see what's going on. We've got two articles left. We have interesting news here. There's been a huge amount of fear around the Shanghai upgrade for Ethereum. So Ethereum has merged from proof of work to proof of stake pretty successfully, and now we are in the final stages of this transition where users can now unstake their Ethereum from the network. And a lot of fear was coming around the cryptocurrency industry because of this. And I really thought that a lot of people were going to unstake their Ethereum and sell those tokens, dumping the price of the asset. But instead, we have seen a move to the upside, and with that, a pretty strong one. If we take a look at the price of Ethereum again, we're up 6.43% in the last 24 hours for Ethereum, following that lack of downwards movement. So a lot of short positions were opened, a lot of people expected movements to the downside, and we just didn't see it. But what we have seen is over $1.3 billion worth of Ethereum is awaiting withdrawal after Shapella upgrade. So let's talk about this quickly. Let's go back to the Crypto Saving Expert website, because yesterday we did actually put out some news about this. So let's find that article that we discussed in yesterday's stream. And this was to discuss the lack of effect it will have on the markets. And we were reporting an article from Glassnode. If we can find it, here we go. The Shanghai upgrade will be a lot less dramatic for Ethereum. And this was from a report by a team at Glassnode. And they had concluded this because if we take a look at this, even in the most extreme case of an exodus of validators, the Ethereum's design of the proof of stake exit queue will limit the amount of stake that can be drained from the pool at once. Therefore, the economic impact of such an event would be stretched out over days to weeks. Based on our analysis, the impact on the Ethereum economy is expected to be a lot less dramatic than many have painted it to be. Now, because it was painted as this big doomsday, when it didn't happen, a lot of people were buying back their assets. A lot of people had sold in fear, ready for the markets to dip so they could buy at lower prices. That's not what they saw. So they started to push their money back into the asset. But what we have seen here is exactly what Glassnode have said. Because of the mechanism that Ethereum uses, they can't all just unstake and get access to their assets like that. It takes a long period of time, a couple of days. And what we can see here is there is $1.3 billion worth of Ethereum awaiting withdrawal. But this is going to be withdrawn slowly over time, so it won't have that immediate drop on the markets like everybody was anticipating. So we can see here withdrawals on Ethereum have been activated, and so far more than 700,000 ETH are awaiting a full exit. So the upgrade successfully launched on the mainnet on the evening of yesterday. So far, approximately 713,000 Ethereum are pending a complete exit, according to on-chain data by Nansen. So let's take a look at this. The net Ether staking deposits in the last 24 hours have decreased by 83, almost 1,000 Ethereum, which indicates a higher amount of ETH withdrawals compared to deposits in this period. But we expected this to happen. These people have had their assets locked away for a very, very long period of time. Some of those people need access to that money, and that is fine. They can take advantage of that. But when we're seeing people unstake their tokens, we're also seeing an attraction towards staking Ethereum because people know that they're no longer tied in. People may have wanted to stake their Ethereum for a while but didn't want to be tied into that scenario. But now we have the flexibility of staking and unstaking whenever we want. That attracts a whole new audience into this. So that's what we're seeing here. And I really don't think this is as negative as it is made out to be. As we've said many, many times here on the channel, if this were to have happened, if the Shanghai upgrade were to have taken place during the bottom of the bear market when sentiment was really bad, I imagine we would have seen a huge amount more of Ethereum being unstaked than we are seeing right now. The sentiment has changed and people are looking to hold on to cryptocurrencies for the long term. People are feeling positive and like the bull market has come back. So we don't have that same negative sentiment that's pushing everybody to try and sell their assets to buy at lower levels. Instead, people are looking with a more long-term outlook again. So it's not all the end of the world. We can see Jerome said bullish on Ethereum. Jason said, hit those likes, folks. Yes, please do. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and press the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. As I said, we do these live streams every single weekday talking about what's going on in the markets. We are currently on 22 likes for today's stream. So if you wouldn't mind, please hit like and subscribe and press the bell notification button. We've hit 2,823 subscribers on a mission to get to 100,000 by the end of the year. I think it's possible, but I think we need a bull market for that. So let's smash the like button if you want a bull market as well. Let's take a look now at the price of Bitcoin, see what's happening over here. Now, we've been in this zone for ages. We've now broken above it. I'm looking at these levels still. I'm keeping these on my charts just in case we do see some downwards movement. And in that scenario, I'll be looking at those levels of resistance, previous levels of resistance acting as a support. One major level that I would like to point out to us all is if we go back to June and July 2021, we saw the dip that we had between the previous all-time high that was made at at $65,000 before that $69,000 level back in November 2021. We saw a dip all the way down to $28,820. So if we take a look at this, where is the lowest point at which a daily candle closed? I have picked this out, and this is exactly here at 29,782. Now, if we go back to what's happening right now at this point here, let's get this right. Let's stretch this out and go onto the 4-hour chart so we can get into the details. This is exactly the point at which we have broken through and used that previous level of support as a support once again. And that is an extremely strong level of support. If we go back to what happened in July 2021, that held us up and we started to punch back all the way up to those $60,000 levels from within the $20,000 to $30,000 range. We have now used that level of support as a support once again. If we take a look at the daily chart, we've bounced that pretty nicely so far today. If we continue to hold this level and use this level as a support once again, which we are perfectly on the 4-hour chart, I'm feeling pretty confident that we could see some continued upwards movement. Bitcoin's moving pretty quickly right now. If we take a look at the 1-hour chart currently it's trading within a range. Let's talk about the range that we're currently trading in. We're looking at between the $30,280 level and the $29,780 level. So we have about a $500 level, $500 range there that we're just trading between right now. But I think that support is pretty strong. So I am expecting some nice movements to the upside, and hopefully we break through this level of resistance soon. We do have a CME gap up at $35,000, acting like a magnet for the Bitcoin price. It's really not that far away right now. Maybe we will see some more sideways action as the weekend is starting to arrive. When the weekend arrives, I usually expect some sideways action, or at least I hope for sideways action, because we will be creating a CME gap. And I don't like having CME gaps below us. But I'm expecting maybe some nice movements today, but overall this weekend we should be pretty stagnant. But we'll update more on the weekend expectations in tomorrow's live stream, so make sure to come and tune back in tomorrow. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and press the bell notification button if you haven't already. I've begged throughout this live stream, so please do. And make sure to go to cryptosavingexpert.com, the most reliable cryptocurrency news source, where we have free guides, cryptocurrency courses, and market data. All you need to do is press that big blue button, create an account, tick that box to receive, let's click on it. If you tick this box to receive a newsletter every single Tuesday at 11 a.m, you will receive an email that updates you on the week in crypto and explains to you what is going to come in the world of crypto as well in the following week. So if you don't have enough time to tune into these live streams, that's a brilliant alternative. Or if you are a very what word can we use? If you're very keen to learn about crypto as much as possible, do both. Sign up to the newsletter and press the bell notification button on YouTube. I think that's all for today, so thank you very much for tuning in. I will be back here tomorrow, so I hope to see you all then. Goodbye.